So we've talked Michelangelo. Now it's time to talk Donatello, who was an Italian artist in the early Renaissance. In 1453, he created the equestrian statue of Gattamelata, which stands in the Piazza del Santo in Padua, Italy today. The statue of the horse and man portrays Italian captain Erasmo de Narni, who is known as the Gattamelata, which means honeyed cat. This bronze statue served as the prototype for the West, so that as far as equestrian monuments go, this is what you see when they honor military heroes.
Absolutely. And Donatello, of course, besides being one of the mutant turtles, you got the great...
Teenage Mutant.
Right. You got Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo, right?
There you go.
So you've got the four
Splinter.
Renaissance artists that were worthy of turtledom. He's one of them. And of the four of them, Donatello is perhaps the least familiar to Western audiences. And it's a shame. He worked a generation before Leonardo and Michelangelo, so he comes a little bit earlier. And that makes his genius all the more profound, because in many ways, Michelangelo and Leonardo and other painters of the High Renaissance, they based what they were doing on the initiatives that were started by Donatello. And one of the things he did was to really put sculpture back on the map, right, in Western culture. And this is a pretty big deal. If you take a look at the picture, Mike, that is the statue Katie mentioned by Donatello, 1453. It is located in the Piazza del Santo in Padua, Italy. Padua was a part of Italy that had been owned by the Venetian Empire, so that's why Venice factors in here pretty highly. It portrays the Renaissance condottiero Erasmo di Narni, known as Gattamelata, that was his nickname, as you say, the honey cat, who served mostly under the Republic of Venice. And this is the very first time in well over 1300 years that an equestrian bronze statue of this magnitude had been created. One of the things that was lost after Rome fell and the great genius of classical civilization was overrun by the so-named barbarians of the north and the east is this. You get this idea that you had equestrian horsemen. In fact, you'd have to go back to the horseback equestrian statue of Marcus Aurelius. People point back to that. And Aurelius lived in the 2nd century AD, one of the great Roman emperors. Before you had anything like this in the entire Western world, the construction alone, take a look at that. It was done by using the lost wax method, where you use wax models and wax fillings to begin to put forth samples of what the actual bronze casting would look like. And in this one, unlike a lot of classical sculpture from Greece and Rome, notice how the rider, the Erasmo, who's being honored here, is not really bigger than the horse. Oftentimes in classical Greek and Roman equestrian statues, Roman in particular, though they will overemphasize the rider because of his particular military or political importance. Here, Donatello does a remarkable thing. He creates both the horse and the man to human scale. Again, for this not having been done for about 1,300 years, it is staggering that he was able to do this. In fact, at one point, the great Leonardo himself was actually called upon to create the largest bronze horse that anyone had ever made. And he went through extensive numbers we have his cartoon drawings, we have some of his plans for that model, but Da Vinci himself, as far as we know, was not really able to build it. One of the great craftsmen of all time couldn't do it. What Donatello here is pretty shocking. Notice the symbols. If you can see there, the left front foot of the horse is actually positioned on what looks like an orb. It's a cannonball, which is a testament to the advancements of military warfare under the Venetian Republic. The horse itself is fully a war horse, right? It is a magnificent piece of work. It complements the rider. It doesn't overshadow him, nor is it undershadowed by him. You've got Gattamelata himself, who carries a baton of military office. All the more interesting about this is he was not a civic leader. He was not one of the doge of Venice. He was not a great king or a prince. He was a warrior, and he gets this tribute because of what he was able to do. And it's especially interesting that Venice, as you know, is basically waterbound. That the military might of the Veneto, of Venice, came by ship. They were basically Western culture's armada, floating armada, to fight off the incursions of the Ottoman Turks. And here you have Gattamelata shown as a cavalryman, right? Something that you wouldn't have seen a lot of. It's not the focus of the Venetian military. And so to be able to do this after more than 1,000 years, and for Donatello, who again brought sculpture back as he was able to really bring sculpture back after a long cessation, so much so that, again, Michelangelo would study his work. You see this remarkable achievement, something that even Da Vinci was never able to see through to its logical conclusion.